Who wins the West is the question. Skip said don't start Stephen A., but I have to. Who wins the West?
I got to tell you something. First of all, San Antonio is the most experienced team, and obviously the way that they lost last year, you would think that they're highly motivated, which they are. They're exceptionally well coached. They have veterans. I'm not picking them because I think when you have that kind of chance and you've come so close and you're this old, they know how to play together. They're very, very experienced, et cetera, et cetera. I just think that that was their moment. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens, but that's what I'm leaning towards. Oklahoma City, for some reason, I've got to see Russell Westbrook right, and even then, without James Harden, that third wheel, now you lost Kevin Martin to Minnesota. Jeremy Lamb, I think, will be a big-time player, scorer in the years to come. I'm not sure he's ready yet, though. That brings me to the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, obviously, there's going to be Houston. There's going to be Golden State. Golden State is a sleeper of mine because they've got the best perimeter shooting in the game. But I got to tell you something right now. I think the acquisition of Doc Rivers changes everything for the Los Angeles Clippers. Chris Paul is just a superstar point guard. Jamal Crawford can score lights out from anywhere. I think the insults that Blake Griffin has had to absorb in the offseason about guys like Zach Randolph and others challenging him and him backing down, I think all of that changes. I think Doc Rivers will generate a level of excitement and tenacity inside of him that we have not seen. I think his game will elevate. But more importantly than that, I think that Doc Rivers will have an effect on DeAndre Jordan. Certainly you can't shoot much worse from the free throw line. But outside of that, you've got to figure out a way to have him on the court in the fourth quarter, Skip, because his athleticism is off the charts. He can block shots, and he does have the capability to rebound if he's focused on that. And I think Doc Rivers could get him that way by simply making sure he understands we need you in the fourth quarter. So the combination of those elements, along with key acquisitions in the offseason, J.J. Redick and Jared Dudley, who are respectable defenders, but more importantly, more reliable shooters from beyond the arc, especially in the form of J.J. Redick, I think spreads the floor, gives Chris Paul more room to operate along with that of Blake Griffin. And again, the exceptional coaching of a Doc Rivers, I think will be enough to propel the Los Angeles Clippers to the NBA Finals this year.
I agree with one statement you just made, and it concerned Doc Rivers. I'm going to give you this much, Stephen A. Smith. Doc Rivers is the X factor in the West this year. He might be the unsung MVP before it's all over. The question to me about the pick you just made, can Doc Rivers alone, his presence, his teaching, just his willpower, can he elevate that tandem you spoke of, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, into an NBA Finals caliber tandem in the front court for the Clippers? My answer right now is no. I don't believe it. I do believe, and I got a quick prediction here, that Doc will pull you aside sometime, I don't know, March or April, and say, Stephen A., I'm doing all I can do with those two, and it's just not enough. That's my gut feeling. That's my prediction about the Clippers. I love what Doc said the other day. He said, and he blurted out the quote for all to hear, including his players, this is an extremely talented basketball team. For all the reasons you just said, it is. I can make a case it's the most talented team on paper in the West. I love this roster, but I don't love those two big guys because I just don't think they're good enough to get this team to the finals. Now, you mentioned Oklahoma City. The loss of Kevin Martin is a huge loss to me because I'm not sure there's going to be that complementary weak side shooter to take some of the heat off those two guys. And I'm not sure if Russell Westbrook's knee will bother him or plague him going forward through the rest of the season. I'm impressed with the Rockets. I'm still not sold enough on Dwight's presence there to put them over the top. So, you know where that leaves me. I got to tell you, from my heart, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not playing to the camera here. I like my Spurs right now even more than I did 1 year ago today. And I love the fact that none of them would let go of Game 6. That's all they talked about all offseason and all the way through camp. Game 6. I told you I'll never get over it, and I don't think they will either unless they rectify Game 6 in June. And I think they got a shot, and I'm going to pick them again to win the West.